Hello. So I figured I would do more plant type things just because I have noticed that a lot of people are interested in my plants and the plant videos that I sometimes come out with. So today we are going to do a little repot of a few plants that I have here. I started all of these as tissue cultures and they're all ready to be bumped up, and for good reason too, because they're in these tiny little pots and they dry out so quickly, and I'm worried that I'm going to like unalive them. Um, and I don't want to do that, especially since for some of these I did pay a good amount of money. So I have a little close up of the plants that you'll see periodically, and we're just going to go ahead and upgrade them like a pot size. I don't know what most of these are called. I think this is a philodendron Goldie, which I guess I could just show you down here since I have this set up. A philodendron Goldie. And you can also see that there's some like new growth coming, which is great. This one, I do not 100% remember. I have a few Monstera varieties here. I think all three of these are Monsteras of some sort. This one might be the Aria, and I say that because of the like slight veining on this white leaf. It did put out two white leaves. I cut one off because it's still a baby, and I don't want it to focus too much on the white. An all white leaf isn't necessarily good. I believe this one is a Monstera albo. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. They're all growing pretty well. This one also seems to be putting off some new growth. I think this one is the Monstera Mint. I have one of those back here, so I'm pretty sure that that's what this one is, because the color looks the same, but look at how cool this leaf is. It's really, really pretty. Alright, all of these are going up in size. I'm only going up a tiny bit because I do not want to put them in something that's going to be, you know, too big. But it looks like this will work fine. It's a little deeper. So I guess without further ado, I'm also going to be using this soil mix that the nursery sent me, the same nursery who sent me these plants. Well, tissue cultures. I do also recommend trying out tissue cultures if you really like plants like I do, because most of the time they grow very, very quickly, and usually they have like very promising results. So I guess we're just gonna move some of these to the side so you can see which ones I'm working on. We'll start with the Goldie. Alright, so I'm not going to disturb the roots too much. I've had these for maybe like since December, I want to say. So I don't really think that they need me to like break up their leaves or anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some of it. So we'll put some of this in the bottom. Alright. This is honestly a really good soil mix. It's chunky. I don't know exactly what it is. I wish I could tell you. So we're just going to break this guy up and pull her on out. We'll take off some of the soil and then just kind of put her in there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I don't have like the perfect setup for this. I'm still working out getting like a foldable table that I could use, but for now, I'm not sure. I don't think you can see it. But I am using a bar stool that I have stacked on top of a laptop table. Like one of those ones that you put over yourself while you're sitting or laying down. Okay. There, I think that looks great. I'll go ahead and give it some water later. Yeah, I really like the coloring on this. I've never actually seen a Monstera Goldie but I saw how the tissue culture looked and kind of bought it on a whim for that. I think there was also a sale, so can't pass up a sale. Next up, let's go ahead and do this Monstera. She's growing really, really well. So I guess same thing. Oopsie. Everything's spilling. Go ahead and fill her up. Give her a little squish. Carefully pull her out. Yeah, this one is definitely ready. The soil on the top of this one looks okay. I put too much dirt. Next up, we will do what I think is the elbow. I feel like this one has to be the elbow. Alright, my nose was getting itchy because there's dirt everywhere. But these little pots are nice for starting tissue cultures and even like seeds. But otherwise, I just don't really care for them. Because, like I said, oops, they dry out so fast. So I am like watering like every other day. And sometimes I don't catch it in time. And yes, some of these root balls are too small for the pots that I'm putting them in, but I'm really hoping that because it's a chunky mix, it'll drain and I'll just water less frequently. So, but I don't want them to like dry out and suffer. Because plants are living things too. While we're here, I guess since this is kind of turning into a chit chat with me, I can kind of just touch on how plants started for me. So it all started with a blue orchid. And blue orchids don't really exist, so it was food dyed, obviously. But I bought it on a whim like 2 years ago. I want to say it was close to like Easter or like Mother's Day or something. I do know that it was around the time that Little Red Velvet was coming up to see me, so it had to have been like April. Sorry, my little thing's coming undone. But we went and picked up groceries for her stay, and I saw the blue orchid, and I was like, that's really unique, because I thought it was real. So I bought it and took it home, and I kind of started taking pictures with it, and I'm just like, okay, wait a minute, and I fell in love with her, and I learned how to like repot in the proper medium, and how to take care of her, and then one thing led to another, and suddenly I had multiple orchids. And then after the orchids, I started going into other plants. I think some of my first plants, I went to a nursery and literally went crazy and just bought like a bunch of everything. Gonna do her next. So I ended up with like pothos and spider plants and... Ooh, you popped right out of there. All right. I'll give you some of your balls back. Fertilizer balls. So yeah, snake plants, spider plants, pothos, more orchids. I also really tried to get outdoor plants to work for me for a bit, but I think outdoor plants just don't like me. I think it's harder because you're dealing with the elements. But yeah, so I did all that. Slowly I phased out of orchids and started going for like more expensive plants, which is a spiral, let me tell you. But it's fun, and so now I have like close to 200 plants, if not more than that. I think some of my favorites, I love a good spider plant, especially if they're cooperative. I rescued one last year, I think, and it was almost dead. It was on clearance, and she bounced back so well. It's huge with tons of like little offshoots and everything. I also really love a good philodendron, just a philodendron. I love philodendrons. A Brazil is really nice. I have a giant one in my office area. It's like trailing up the walls. I love plants that trail or plants that have giant leaves. So, and I don't know, I like all of them. I know people have like a hard favorite, but it's easier for me to tell you like what kinds I don't like versus the kinds that I do. I don't really care for Hoyas. To me, they're kind of like nothing super special. I did, however, find one that I do really enjoy, and it has like full pink leaves. Like, I like that. I don't really care for pothos anymore. They don't like me. I can't tell you why. They are some of the easiest plants to take care of, and they just hate me. I don't care for cactus or succulents, and I don't care for like the string of things, which I think those are in the succulent category. I don't care for calatheas. I don't mind alocasias, but they do mind me, and I'm still trying really hard to figure out how to make this work. But yeah, so all of our little guys have been repotted. I hope you liked watching this, and I'm sure I will have more to do again.